Tonight, we're looking at the devastating toll that MISC can have on kids.
To date, there have been 79 cases of MISC, or multi-system inflammatory syndrome, in children reported in our state. We know that fewer than 5 children have died.
We have been tracking MISC in several West Michigan kids. We told you about Mac Bowman's story last fall. That Rockford teenager survived, though others have lost their battle with MISC. Most recently, Honesty Hodges, the 14-year-old Grand Rapids girl who led the charge to change the Grand Rapids Police Department's youth policy. She died in November.
New tonight, News 8's Emily Leonard has the story of a West Michigan boy and the horrific toll MISC is taking on his body. Emily.
This morning, 10-year-old Dae-Shun Jamison had both of his hands and his left leg amputated. The video you're about to see was shot last week before today's surgery. Earlier in the month, he'd had his right leg amputated. The road to recovery is a steep one for this little boy. Meanwhile, pediatric doctors everywhere are trying to figure out more about this disease affecting our children.
I just enjoy my son a lot.
With a smile that lights up a room, Dae-Shun Jamison is fighting a battle unlike anything his mother Brittany could have ever imagined.
They told me that he had MISC, and I didn't understand what it was. I've never heard of this, didn't have a clue about it.
We see it happen primarily in children who are otherwise completely healthy. So it does make it very challenging.
Dr. Rosemary Olivero is a pediatric infectious disease specialist at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Because COVID is new, MISC is new as well. Doctors still have a lot of questions about how it works.
The general way that it's going to go, you have the infection, mild or not, you recover, and then you develop this new illness that looks very different from an acute respiratory COVID.
Brittany and Dae-Shun's whole family contracted COVID a few months ago. Dae-Shun was asymptomatic, but about 2 weeks later,
he started laying around. He said he had a headache. And then the day I took him in, he had a high fever.
Brittany's GoFundMe page tells the story of the weeks that have followed. January 14th, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, he will be getting his right leg amputated. February 13th, Dae-Shun will be getting both of his hands and his left leg amputated on February 22nd.
The rule of thumb that we keep all going back to is that children are fine, children are fine. And indeed, children still have very much lower risk of having severe acute respiratory COVID-19. That is still the case. However, MISC shows us one of the many rare, strange manifestations that coronavirus can cause that can make an individual very ill.
That's good work.
As the search for answers continues, the journey to helping Dae-Shun adjust to his new life begins today.
I'm trying to find ways to get him back to the way he was as much as possible.
After recovering from today's surgery, there will be more rehab, similar to the work he'd been doing at Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital. Brittany hopes Dae-Shun's next steps will be on prosthetics.
That's my goal for him. That's what I want for him.
But no matter how those steps are taken, Brittany will be with him every step of the way.
Every single day. As long as he's here, I'm here.
Here are the symptoms of MISC that doctors want parents to be aware of: fever, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, neck pain, rash, and bloodshot eyes, feeling extra tired. We have links inside our story with further information on MISC and a link to Dae-Shun's GoFundMe page as well inside our story at woodtv.com.
Boy,
wow.
That is just terrifying.
Heartbreaking and frightening, that's for sure.
He's a tough little boy, though.
For sure.